Welcome, gamers, to Basement Arcade Pause Menu, the show where we hit pause, sit back, and just chill. I'm your host, Ben Magnet, and today on the show, I have someone who is truly awesome and maxed out a skill tree in college that I really wish I maxed out. She is a classmate, a former classmate of mine. She is a friend, and she is also head of marketing at Yacht Club Games and also a whole bunch of other stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Miss Celia Schilling. Celia, it's so good to see you. How have you been?
I've been great. Very busy with an upcoming launch, but yeah, I'm so excited to see you. It's been so long.
Okay, so backstory between how Celia and I met. So Celia and I, we went to the same school. We went to California State University, Northridge. Woohoo!
Yeah.
We are both proud alumni of that school, and the way we met was through a friend of ours, a mutual friend's infomercial taping. Do you remember that?
I vaguely remember that.
So, it was a mutual, because I remember I was in the role of like a head chef. We were like fake selling these like pans that like seasoned your food so you didn't have to season. And now you just
unlocked the memory. You just unlocked the memory. I remember Sebastian being like, "Oh yeah, you have to do this," and I was like, "Okay." Oh my god, that's how we met.
That is how we met.
I forgot.
Yep, we met through there, and then we just hit it off. We started talking, and I remember because I was interning at the radio station KCSN, and I put up on my Facebook page like, "Hey, I just got 2 free John Mayer tickets. Who wants to go?" And you were the first one to like, ding, me.
Yeah, you know what's really funny about that? I was a big fan of his opener, Philip Phillips. So yeah. I was telling people that I was going to a Philip Phillips concert, and they were like, "Who?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, he's with John Mayer." And they're like, "John Mayer," and I'm like, "But Philip Phillips, he's so good."
And the whole time, yeah. So I mean, the concert was fine. It was at the Hollywood Bowl. I'd never been to the Hollywood Bowl before, so you and I just went, and I was like, I just got these tickets for free. And I was also in another class where I had an assignment where I needed to be off all technology for 24 hours, like no cell phone. I couldn't use my car radio. And then these tickets fall into my lap. I'm like, hey, something else for me to do, because I was just going to read books all day.
So funny. In my head, how we met is that we were just friends. We just automatically became friends. I feel like I deleted the infomercial acting thing we did together, because in my head, I'm like, yeah, we've been friends always. I don't remember how, but we were friends always.
It always
That's so funny.
It kind of freaks my friends out, especially one of my co-host Brandon on Fake Nerd Podcast, because he and I, like, we've like stayed in like constant contact, like constantly talking to each other, hanging out. During the season years, and even long after, we do a podcast together.
Yeah.
And he always freaks out at the fact that I can remember exactly when we met, how we met, and how we became friends. And he's just like, we've known each other for that long, and you remember all that? I was like, I don't know how. I honest to goodness don't know. Like when you and I became friends, it's like, I don't know how this locked into my brain, and it just stayed there. It's like, hey, how'd you and Celia meet? Oh, we met through here. You met through that one infomercial, that infomercial project for our friends that we were just actors in. We weren't the ones getting graded on it. We were just.
I know.
I will always remember, because it was me and my friend Bethany. We were like the ones doing the infomercial. Like, I was the chef, and she was like the. I don't want to say like the Rachel Ray counterpart, but she kind of was. Mm-hmm. And then you were the spokesperson or the actual like person who used it. And I always remember this line that you said was, "And it's an instant fiesta." I will always remember that line from you.
Oh my God. I was like, oh no, you remember the cringe, all the cringe.
Well, we were in school. It was, I know, we had to be cringe.
I remember Sebastian asked me to do that, like, an hour. It was like really like late notice. He's like, "Hey Celia, like, you do acting stuff occasionally, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? I'm down." And then he's like, "Here you go." And I was like, "Oh, this is being filmed. Oh no."
Because my Bethany knew that I was in our production of Romeo and Juliet that year. Mm-hmm. And so she asked me if I can help her out with a project. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I can help out a friend." And she's like, "Cool. You remember those infomercials from the 90s? Yeah. You see those cooking ones? Yeah. Cool. You're the chef." What? she hands me this script and she's like, if you can memorize this, I'd really appreciate it. I'm like reading through this. I'm like, oh man, this is yep. Okay. I guess I'm in this now.
I'm like, you got the script prior? This is unfair. Sebastian was like, hey, like, I think it was either Sebastian was there, or it was Bran. It was one of them. But anyways, yeah, I got the script like an hour before, and they're like, there you go. Have fun.
It's like, go off. So,
basically, my whole existence in that was
I'm not
off.
gonna lie, I miss those days. Those were some good times before. All right. So anyways, going down memory lane aside, Celia, I wanted to ask you to come. I have you on the show today because I wanted to talk to you about getting a job and working in the video game industry. Because I can only imagine that so many people who watch this show or who play video games have this dream of being in the video game industry. So I was hoping to talk to you about that, and also your journey into video games. Because I remember you telling me where you started. I actually asked you for help because I had an interview with them one time, and just like, how did you go from going to school, getting a job in the video game industry, and then ending up at Yacht Club? Because you mastered some sort of skill tree that I wish I did.
Oh my gosh, thank you. And that actually is a common question. So I'm really glad that you've asked that. So for getting a job in the video game industry, first off, figure out what exactly you want to do in the video game industry. Because I've gotten hit up by friends so many times saying like, oh, I want to get a job. I'm like, well, what do you do? And for that, like, there's so many different ways to like get in. For example, besides game development, which is, an obvious choice, there's operations, there's accounting, there's QA, there's marketing, which is me. There's licensing, which is also me. And there's so many different ways, like merchandising. There's like warehouse distribution. So it's like, okay, what is your skill set? What are you good at? And then you just go on the career website and apply. It's that easy. And if you're qualified, like let's say that you've had experience in accounting and in a different industry, let's say finance, whatever. Yeah, you apply. They want skilled people to be in their accounting department. They don't care if you have worked at a different video game company before. So yeah, you just apply and there you go. And then for that also, it's good always, like when looking at jobs, is meeting people that that work in that industry. So like, let's say you go to PAX, for example. I love PAX because like a lot of actual developers go to that, the people who physically are on the team go to that convention, go there and just say hello to them and be like, hey, I'm interested in working. Is there something that I could like particularly focus on if I'm in school, or is there a different career set that you guys look for? You can also just send out an email and ask. Worst case scenario, they don't respond. Best case scenario, you just made a friend and they help you out. So I don't know, there's a lot of ways to do it. It just depends what your focus is.
I think that's a very good thing to talk about, because I mean, I am employed right now, but not in the place I really want to be perfectly honest. And I have been looking at jobs and at careers in video games. And a lot of the times where I'm looking for video game jobs that pop up are stuff for accounting, for business, more on the business side. And I keep scrolling down and I think to myself, it's like, dang, maybe I should have gone to school for something else. Because when you say video games, I feel a lot of people, gamers especially, they think of the development side, coding, art design. They think of the more artistic and creative aspect, and they're forgetting the logistical and the number crunching, which doesn't sound the best, but at the same time, it's vital to the video game industry.
Yeah, and it's also your skill set. Like, oh darn, I'm not great at game design and I can't draw. What do I do? It's like, well, what are you good at? Accounting? There is accounting, sir. Businesses need to function as well. So yeah, it just depends what you're good at and your skill set. Like if someone's really great at art, I wouldn't suggest getting their in accounting, like if that's not their skill set. But it's just focusing on what your strengths are, like for any job. And it's like, okay, for example, you want to work at this one company and they're looking for, I don't know, operations managers with 3 years experience. You don't have to just sit around hoping that one day they'll take a chance on you. Work somewhere else and get that operations experience and then apply when it's applicable. Like there's no real magic to it.
Yeah. Can we talk about your first job in video games?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Okay, so there's like a few. Like I realized that you could have a job in video games when I did QA. I did some QA for Activision. I did some QA for Naughty Dog. And when I say
Oh,
QA,
wow.
it's not like actual quality assurance for it. It is the consumer verge side of it, which is like they bring you in and you do those little like you play and they film your gameplay and then they ask you as a consumer. So it's not like the actual QA. It's the little black box version of it. And I
Okay.
was like, what? People could have a job doing this. That's why I found out about QA, by the way.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's something that could be it. And then eventually, I think I'd mentioned some like previous jobs, but basically, like I worked at a kiosk at the mall. Then I started getting involved in marketing for the actual company that worked for the kiosk. So I started getting some marketing experience. And then they had a friend who was starting a video game augmented reality company, which did it was like this board game. It's called Kazulu. I think they still exist. It's this board game where you take your app. This is before Pokemon Go, where you like it would show the dragon in your phone and you would play using the board. It was real cool. And so I started
Wow.
doing some marketing for them. I actually went to E3 in I want to say 2014 or 13. I have to check Facebook memories. But anyways,
I think I remember because all right, so
uh-huh.
I want to say I remember you going to E3, not for the augmented reality, for the I think the job after that.
Yeah.
And I could not tell you how envious I was because I'm still because luckily with doing this podcast, I now have a better chance of going to E3. I think I actually applied for a press badge for E3 2019. Unfortunately, was shot down, but that's fine. I'll try again next time. Yeah. But still, the fact that one of my friends, someone I knew going to school, was on the floor of E3 showing off their stuff, I'm just like, that is awesome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm like, I'm not mad, but I wish that I was there.
Well, just as a heads up, E3 sounds like so much fun. There's so much magic that happens, so many fun announcements, so many cool people. But oh my God, it is a crap ton of work. You are not envious, sir. Look me in the eyes. You are not envious. So for that, like, I could talk a little bit about that. E3 is very, very stressful. I equivalent E3 or, PAX or whatever to, how there's like pre-launch, like we have to get all the stuff done in the game. Like, I wouldn't say crunch, but I would say like stressful. E3 is also because it's making sure everything goes smoothly. Yeah. It was a blast though. It's so magical. But I'm like, it was really funny when actually when I got hired at Yacht Club Games, I was like, we don't booth at E3. We have a couple meetings and that's it. That means I can enjoy E3 for the first time in my career. And then the world shut down. And I was like, damn it. I am not destined to go play at E3.
I can only imagine of how not like soul crushing that is, because I mean obviously when you get because I can only imagine working a booth at E3. Like you said, working at a booth is like stressful. You gotta make sure everything's perfect. You got you're there to work. You're not really there to look around and be like, oh, the shapes and colors. You're there to get stuff done. Yeah. And I completely understand that. And now I'm like rethinking like younger me. It's like actually no.
Yeah. Like to enjoy as a media. Oh my gosh. I am always so jealous of my media friends because they're like, oh, like I waited in line and got to do this and this. And of course, they're working too. It is very difficult, honestly. It takes so much emotional energy and prep work and all that stuff. But oh man, they get to play the games and it's so cool.
Yeah, there's a retro convention that's coming up in February. It's the first one that's going to happen here in Southern California.
Oh, which one?
Socal Retro Gaming Expo over in Ontario.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know them. Yeah.
Yeah, I am dying to go. I cannot wait. I'm actually in contact with one of the owners and I'm trying to get her to come on this show for an interview. So hopefully that happens soon. But at the same time, this is the first gaming convention. And I know once I go, I'm going to be going as a guest, or not as a guest, but as someone, someone who paid for his ticket, but also with a new stack of business cards, and I'm there to work.
Oh, that's so exciting. Yeah, I want to go too. I'm gonna look into that because I've been to the old ones, but I haven't been in a while. Well, obviously everyone hasn't been in a while, but you know what I mean.
I actually had a ticket to go for 2020's SoCal Retro because the Completionist was there, Nintendo was there, a whole bunch of personalities, YouTubers were going to be there, and I was going to go, and I had like no money in my bank account, but I was like, I'm going to go there to network, to talk to these people, try to get them on the podcast because I really want to talk to these guys and pick their brains because it'll be so much fun to talk to them. and then Nintendo bowed out, the gaming historian bowed out, and then the completionist bowed out, and then of course the entire world shut down.
Yeah, so that probably was like a part of it.
Yeah, it definitely was, but it was a bummer. But now that it's actually coming back, it's like cool, and now I have a little bit more money in my bank account, so then I can also shop for retro games because I love playing retro video games.
Same. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I love retro conventions. Like I miss PRGE, Portland Retro Gaming Expo. It's like so fun. I know this month actually Too Many Games is going on, but that's on the East Coast. I want to go. I never got to go.
Now, some of my friends on the East Coast who've actually have been on the show, they went to a convention in South Carolina, and then they're going to Too Many Games, I actually, one of my Twitter followers and mutuals tweeted like, "Hey, who's going to Too Many Games?" And of course, I'm like, I'm just gonna be that guy. I was like, I can't go because it's on the East Coast, and trying to find a plane ticket is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
And expensive, and I don't have the money for that. The actual Too Many Games Twitter account liked that tweet, and then nothing happened. I'm like, thanks for liking the fact that I can't go and I live on the opposite coast. I
think okay, as someone who operates a social media account for a company, two things may have happened. A, they're like, "Oh, I appreciate the support," so it's me acknowledging your existence. Or they read it wrong and we're like, "Oh, you can go and you have to find a plane ticket." Cool. So I don't know. I wouldn't I wouldn't take it personally.
I mean, I didn't. I just looked at it. I was like, I mean, cool. They know I exist. That's rad. Because I would love to go to these retro gaming conventions on the East Coast and all over the country. Unfortunately, just I don't have the time or the money to do so.
Yeah.
But once Portland comes back, a friend of mine and I we made a pact, and I told him, I was like, hey, I will help on the hotel room and I will buy my own plane tickets, but I really want to go because he went to Portland before the fall of mankind, and he said it, and he showed me pictures. His profile picture on his social media websites for the longest time was him wearing a Power Glove, and I'm just like, I want to do that, like so bad. Even though it's just like if I can wear a Power Glove for a hot second at a convention, I'm like, I love the Power Glove so bad. I've never seen that movie. I just know the line.
Oh my gosh, you have to go see it. I haven't seen it either, but I've heard a lot of quotes. One of my friends, he was a fan of that movie, and so I recognize things. So it's okay. I'm a Power Glove poser too.
Yeah, but hey, if you want to go to Socal Retro, if you want carpool, hit me up. I can totally.
Definitely.
Hey, it's in right in my backyard. That's the best part. It is literally in my backyard.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll make the voyage. We'll plan something because I love retro game conventions. So
yeah, that we will. So out of curiosity, how did you get in touch with Yacht Club?
They made a Twitter post, which we find everyone on Twitter. Let's be real. Like literally, you talk about anyone we've worked with, like Arne for Cyber Shadow. Oh, we found him on Twitter. Vine, Russell, for Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. We found him on Twitter. But anyways, yeah. So they made a post that they were hiring a community manager. At the time, I was working at Hyperkin. There's a lot of factors where I was like, oh, like let's see what else is there. Like I wanted to move closer to family. Because at the time, like I lived like 80 miles away from like my family, and like it kind of sucked. I felt like I lived two lives, So I was like, oh, well, look around and see, just see what's on the horizon for fun. And they had an opening, so I applied. They called me in for an interview. I was like, okay, let's make some new friends. Let's see what's going on. And like I met with them. The interview went really well. And then they're like, oh, like, well, you'll be in contact. And then I didn't hear from them for like a month. And I was like, guess I'm not getting hired. And then they called me back for a second interview. And yeah, that went well. And I guess they liked me. Obviously, I've been here for a while now. And yeah, so they gave me an offer and I accepted. And then the world shut down. And I was like, do I have a job? Shit. And no, they still they moved everyone remote, and it was fine.
Because I can only imagine the anxiety because I also interviewed for Hyperkin. Obviously, I didn't get the job, bummer. But it's definitely knowing that your interview went so well and not hearing from them for about a month. Obviously, it worked out for you, but at the same time, I can only imagine it's like, did I get it? Did I not get it? What's going on here? You kind of want to poke the bear and then be like, hey, what's the deal? What's going on, guys?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like, okay, so like Yacht Club and everything that they do, it is very meticulous. They care so much. They're very passionate people, and it happens. And
Mhm.
so I was kind of like one of those things where like I was in a case where like I really enjoyed my job at Hyperkin. Like I
Mhm.
wanted to live closer to my family, but like if it didn't, like it would just have been a new cool experience. Who would have known? So it's kind of one of those situations, and I really love it at like Yacht Club Games. So it's nice to also live next to family. So everything worked out in my case, but everything's always different. There's a lot of
That,
factors with everyone.
that is awesome.
Mhm.
Now, please don't hate me,
Yeah, what's up?
but I have yet to play Shovel Knight.
Dead to me. Just kidding.
But there's a reason why. Okay,
I'm like,
so if you look on my wish list on both my Amazon or even my Nintendo Switch,
uh-huh.
I have Shovel Knight Treasure Trove as a wish list. Although I'm finicky, I would really love a physical copy. So if I ever find a physical copy, I'm buying it.
Mhm.
The reason, so I want to play Shovel Knight like super bad because I've heard nothing but great things. Even one of my co-hosts, Ryan, he has told me I need to play Shovel Knight, and Shovel
Mhm.
Knight is on the docket for the main basement arcade,
Mhm.
which is the Fake Nerds Let's Play channel, and I have. Of course, we haven't been recording that because pandemic, and we have
Yeah.
to stay remote and stay away. But luckily, once we're done with our current game, Shovel Knight is going to be the next one. So please don't hate me, but I will play Shovel Knight. I swear.
Cool. I'll tune in. It'll be good.
Yeah. So when you were interviewing with Yacht Club, did you play Shovel Knight prior? And now correct me if I'm wrong, but Shovel Knight isn't Yacht Club's only big game. There are other games that they have outside of the Shovel Knight franchise, right?
Kind of. Okay, so for this, okay, so first off, I'm so excited for you to go on your shovel journey. It'll be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had interviewed with Yacht Club Games, I had played Shovel of Hope and I had played Plague of Shadows. Did I beat either of them? Kind of. I played some of it, and I would skip around, or I'd like let my friend play, and I'd be like, "Cool." So I had played a little bit. I had dabbled with Shovel Justice,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was a fan. Like I thought the games were good, and I was like, sure, I'm not the best at it, but it's something that I enjoy, and like the colorful cast of characters are so fun that I'm like, I wanted to join in on that fun as well. And
Mm-hmm.
it'd be a lot, it's pretty easy to market since the characters are so fun and memorable. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, this would be a great opportunity. I forgot the last part of the question. So what was it again?
The last crap. Even I forgot the last part of the question too. Wow, I'm a horrible interviewer today. Damn.
It's okay. Um, how do I make this full circle? So yeah, I had played it and I was really excited. And other games that we made. There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. Yeah,
So
yeah.
Shovel Knight. Okay, so
Wow.
Shovel Knight Treasure Trove is a saga of 5 different games. So they
Mm-hmm.
originally released in 2014 Shovel of Hope, which is like the introduction to the series. And
Mm-hmm.
part of the Kickstarter process was they announced that if they reached certain stretch goals, that they would add certain campaigns. And they had the community vote. No one had played the games yet or any of the characters because it's like pre-Shovel of Hope. And so they picked Plague Knight, they picked Spectre Knight, and they also picked King Knight. And so
Mm-hmm.
for that, we made Plague of Shadows, which is kind of like a new game plus to Shovel Knight. That was like always the tension of it, where
Mm-hmm.
it's new gameplay mechanics, you're exploring a new story, and like all this fun stuff. It was like for more experienced, here is the next, I guess, step in the whole series. And after that they made brand new campaigns for Spectre Knight. Spectre Torment's really fun, and like King of Cards, which is as King Knights. Oh my gosh, King Knights. Okay, so if I'm gonna be biased, I love King of Cards.
Okay.
It was like one of the last entries in Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. So they threw so much fun stuff in there. There's so many jokes. I have caught myself laughing like audibly out loud when playing that one. They also made it a card game. There's Joustus in it. I don't know if you're a TCG player, but I really like trading card games. So I was like really stoked about that as well. It's awesome. Oh, and they also made Shovel Knight Showdown, which is in Treasure Trove, which is basically like I don't know, it's like a Smash style game where you're playing
Mm-hmm.
like as other characters in the series and you're fighting each other. It's really fun. So yeah, so those are the 5 games that are in Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, which is on
Mm-hmm.
sale. I think the sale actually ends today on Nintendo Switch. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, so
Hold that thought, grab. Well, I mean, I'm weird, so I'm a very big proponent of owning my games physically. I mean, if I have to get digitally, I'll get digitally. That's 100% fine. but I love getting physical games because I'm an old school guy because I like holding the physical copy and be like, shiny, it's on my shelf. Look how good. Well, okay, I don't have a shelf. It's gonna be in my drawer. It's gonna be in my dresser of. You can't really see it, but you see this dresser right here?
Yes.
All my games are in there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I might have a sweet little gaming loft in my house, but space is limited, so I have to. But once I pull the dresser out, it's like, oh,
That's cool.
it's
And it's fine. We all have to get inventive. I'm the same way. I like physical versions of games. Like it's facing this wall, but I do have a game shelf with all my Nintendo 64 games, my Dreamcast games, my Sega Genesis, all the good stuff. And so yeah, like I'm very similar. Treasure Trove is also available in a physical version. But anyways, so yeah, like I'm the same way. This girl on Twitter, who's my new Twitter friend, she posted about this Owatome game. I think it's called Olympia Soiree. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy this. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy this physically. So now I have to go find a good physical version of it. So yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I mean, because the big release that's coming, because we're recording this in the very beginning of October. Of course, when this video comes out, it's going to be well past that. Might actually be around my birthday when it comes out. Anyways.
When's your birthday?
November 15th.
November 15th. Okay. Making it.
Yeah. So Metroid Dread is coming out next week.
Yes.
And I've just played through all the Metroid games. I'm ready for Dread. I'm super excited. I cannot find a special edition to save my life.
Oh,
because all those scalpers, because I woke up at 9 o'clock in the morning to watch that direct, and I saw the direct. I was freaking out. I was scrolling through Twitter, and I see a picture of the special editions. I'm like, is that available? And then I'm like the direct's over. I'm like, I'm on my way to the gym with my roommate. I'm like, I'm gonna go see if that special edition's up for pre-order. Oh, sweet, it is, and it's gone.
Yeah, that happens. I would wait till the sweet spot of like when the release happens, and then the people that who got the physical version who did not want to play it. Like there's like a weird sweet spot of where you can get it like $5 under MSRP, and that might be your range. But also they're probably going to be printing more physical versions for the holiday season. So I would just probably keep an eye out to like your specific retailers.
Oh yeah, I plan to be calling some stores later today and be like, "Yo, did you manage to score some copies of the special edition? And if you did, hold one for me. I'll be there Friday morning."
You should check with because like some retro game stores, they also sometimes get physical versions of certain games.
Oh,
I know
that's
One Up. Oh, okay, good. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I think One Up tends to get physical versions too. So maybe check with them.
I don't follow where's One Up? What city is that in?
Los Angeles.
Okay, yeah, unfortunately I'm a little farther away from LA. But luckily I'm more closer in the Inland Empire, but there's a few stores around me in Orange County and in LA County that I can get to that they do get physical copies of the newer releases.
Yeah, I think Pixel Vault's near you. I think
Pixel Vault is. Oh, I love Pixel Vault. I love those guys.
Yeah, they're great.
Pixel Vault, Lost Levels is also really close to me, and I know the owner there, so I can probably hit him up and be like, "Yo!" And of course, Frankensons is right down the road for me, so I can call them and there's a few booths there that I can hit up on through Instagram and be like, "Do you have this?" And if they'll let me know. So hopefully I can get it next Friday because I really want to do a if it's up by now, sweet. But either way, I'm getting the game next week. If I get the special, cool. If I have to settle for the standard, I'll settle for the standard because I just want to play Metroid Dread.
Yeah, well, I'm very excited for you. I tend to wait till after release. Okay, so my whole, I guess, gaming philosophy is I wait until the reviews come out before I get excited. But once they are out, I will be right there with you, super excited.
Oh, I completely
but
understand.
We'll see.
No, there were a few games that I was super excited for that I have waited until reviews came out. I want to say new Pokemon Snap. I waited for reviews to come out before I got that. Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. I waited for reviews on that. And there was one other game too. I completely forgot. But because there are some games and some franchises that I'm ride or die. Like when Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced, instant pre-order, instant buy it all in full. I got the deluxe edition. It was because I want the steelbook. I really like collecting steelbooks for my video games. Same with Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's like instant. I'm like, I don't care. I want this. So I feel like I'm that way with Metroid Dread because I played through all 4 previous Metroid games and I know the people, or I know the developers because they made the remake Samus Returns for the 3DS. So for me, they have such a good enough track record where I am willing to go head on, full steam ahead, dive right into the deep end day one. But having that philosophy of waiting for reviews is a very good philosophy because I have been burned before.
Same.
Who burned you?
So I was hyped for Ballad in Wonderworld.
That's the reason why
you were hyped excited. I was so excited. It looked good. It looked like it was gonna be a return to the magical world of Sega. You know what I mean? Like of Sega. You know what I mean? Like that feeling, that magic. It looked like that. I like platformers.
You know what?
And I was like, yes.
I was really hoping it was going to be okay. I've never played the original Knights because that's a Sega Saturn exclusive, and Sega has not re-released that game. Damn you, Sega! Nights into Dreams, because that game looked gorgeous, and we get Ball in Wonderworld, and I'm thinking, is this like Knights? Is Knights going to be in this game? I really hope so. And then all the reviews came out, and I'm like, oh no, Yuji, why? What have you done?
No, you could tell. Oh god. No, I was a little burned by that. Luckily, I didn't buy it because I procrastinated. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this, and I was like, ride or die. I'm like, I'm gonna buy this game. I don't give a shit. I love 3D platformers, and I love supporting like the future of anything, like Knights related. So I was like, yes. And then I was lazy. I forgot. I was busy with something, and then I saw the reviews, and I was like, ow, that hurt here. That hurt in my heart. But like, I don't know. It just like I try to be careful because I buy so many games. Like I have a huge backlog of games, and I was just like, okay, like I should probably beat these, and then I buy more games, and I'm like, shit. Excuse my language, but shit.
You're more than welcome. I say shit all the time. Are you kidding me? So I want to show you something real quick, if that's okay. All your listeners, I'll describe it. So I have these 3 games physically on the Switch. It's Way Forward Shantae.
Yeah.
I have 2 of the limited run Best Buy variants. And I have Shantae Half Genie Hero physical for my Switch. And I also bought Shantae digitally for my 3DS and even for the Switch because I'm like, I'm never going to own the physical copy because the limited run physical copy is going for hundreds of dollars. And then, or not hundreds of dollars, but, it's very expensive. And then Best Buy showed up. Like I was scrolling through Twitter, and one of the guys I follow on Twitter is like, "Hey, Best Buy just came out with these variant. It's like comic books, a variant cover of a video game, just because these 2 covers are different." And I'm like, I'm gonna buy those. So these are perpetually in my backlog, and I completely understand when you get these games, especially when retro games, because when I buy retro games, I intend to play them.
Yeah,
I do want to play these games. I'm not buying them just so I can, do the whole Wada Games thing. I really don't like that. But I want to play these games. Like when I get Shovel Knight, I'm playing Shovel Knight. Don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I'm going to play it. Like the same with these Shantae games. These are there because I started Shantae, and now I have these 2 games in the backlog, and there's another one I'm going to try and snag physically. But yeah, it's the ever-growing backlog that just stares in your soul when you get into a new game. Like once I get Dread, I'm like, yeah, Dread. I can just feel the daggers my backlog is giving me.
I know. Oh my god. Yeah, I have. What did I get? I got Life is Strange. I bought all the Life is Strange games, like all the prequel to, like all the downloads, all that. And Life is Strange 2 is out. And like in my head, I'm like, I'm ride or die. I'm buying that regardless. So actually, I haven't read the reviews of Life is Strange because I'm buying it. I'm gonna buy it. Just I don't know when. Because now the Owatome game's on there's a lot of games I need to play now. So we will see. But yeah, I know it's hard being a gamer, guys. Okay, there's a lot of stuff.
It's hard being a gamer, and it's hard being an adult with a job.
I know, it's so rude.
I cannot tell you that I treasure the days where I can get my chores done early in the morning, and I can just like veg the rest of the day with a controller in my hand. And like, I'm just playing video games. I'm going to read my ever growing stack of comic books I'm months behind. It's the constant glare of backlog is always staring me in the face. And one of these days is like, I will conquer this backlog. I don't know when, but I will conquer it.
I feel the same way. So when I was a little kid, I made a rule for myself that I had 100% a game or like close to it to get a new one. And like, so a majority of like my old collection, like the I started with, like, is just me, like, all beat games. I'm like all pro, like I have done this. And then now as an adult, that's been outpaced by my job and me being excited for more games.
So you were
So
a completionist.
yeah, I know, right? I like back, well, because it was like one of those things where like I had to get the most value of every game. It's not like, back in the day, every game was like what? It was like $60 or $80. I don't remember the price of games before because I was a child, so I didn't pay for them.
I remember the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox era games. Those games were $50.
$50? Okay.
Game Boy games were 40. And then of course you had other games that were on sale. Like I remember I used to watch X Play all the time when I was a kid. Like when the PS2 era, in the PS2 era, when X Play and G4 TV, before they revised, thank goodness they came back, I would watch X Play constantly, and I would buy games based on like, hey, you should definitely buy this game. This is a 5 out of 5. It's perfect. That's how I got into God of War. But they had a section called Games for Cheap Bastards. And it's like, here are some amazing titles that are now on sale at your stores for $20. You have no excuse now.
That's so funny. Oh, man.
But yeah, excuse me, phlegm. But yeah, I completely understand. You want to get the most out of a game. For me, when I was growing up, getting the most out of a game would be essentially just beating it. Like if there's like some I think the one game I really 100%ed, or even not even 100%, like maybe 90 something percented, was the original Kingdom Hearts. And
yeah.
I played that game constantly. I was so stoked for Kingdom Hearts 2 that I would play the original Kingdom Hearts over and over. I remember one time my brother walked into my room and I started a new game on Kingdom Hearts, and he's like, "Are you playing Kingdom Hearts again?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why? You beat this game like 3 times already." I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna get the ultimate weapon." He's like, "You're gonna grind for the ultimate weapon?" I'm like, "I'm gonna get," and I got it. I got the ultimate weapon. I got Goofy and Donald's ultimate weapons. Let's just say I whooped Ansem's ass. I even fought Sephiroth 3 times just for funsies.
Oh my God. Okay, you are a champ.
Well, this was in like 2004, or no, yeah, this was like 2003, 2004, and I will not lie, I would go fight Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1 only so I could listen to One Winged Angel. That was it. That was my first introduction to Final Fantasy, was through Kingdom Hearts and through Sephiroth. And once I'm fighting him, the first time he kicked my ass, but as I'm playing, it's like, this music's like really good.
Yeah.
So good.
You know what's funny? I found out about Final Fantasy characters also through Kingdom Hearts. I had, because I wasn't a PlayStation kid. I was like a Nintendo 64 kind of kid. So, we weren't like exposed to, Final Fantasy games. And I did have an SNES because like, I was younger. So yeah, I wasn't exposed to it.
Don't be fooled by the hat. The only SNES I have that's actually mine is my SNES Mini.
Fair enough. I actually wanted to get the Mini for that reason because I love having a physical controller. I have a Super Nintendo Junior. It's like the different variant looking version of it. Yeah, and I have a few games for it, but yeah, I'm not like super exposed by the vast SNES library. But I played a few good ones. I really like them. But anyways, back to my story. So yeah, I wasn't exposed to them. So I thought that they were characters made up for Kingdom Hearts. So yeah. Yeah, I did not know about that. I also, another embarrassing note, if we're, just admitting things in our lives. Same thing with Super, N64 Super Smash. I thought Ness was a made-up character for a little while. But I ended up reading the bios in there and I was like, oh shit, like they didn't just make up a bunch of characters. And reason for that, I'm just throwing it out there. Reason for that is because of Diddy Kong Racing, they made up a bunch of characters. They had Tip Top and, they'd pre-Conquer, but you know what I mean? Like all the other characters, Pipsy's not in shit, okay? So I thought that it was like one of those. And like Diddy Kong Racing, they had Banjo, they had Conquer in there. I was like, oh, like they threw in like Mario and Pikachu and Donkey Kong and then all these new guys. I was wrong. I was very wrong about that. But anyways, that's a different story for a different time.
Okay, so I'll admit some things too, because you and I grew up in essentially the same era. We're both 90s babies.
Yeah.
And because when I knew what video games were, because the first video game I ever played was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. There's a reason why he's my favorite. And but I only knew about Sega and Nintendo, and I never owned a Sega or Nintendo until much later in my life, i.e. the minis that are hooked up over there. So my only exposure to the Super Nintendo when I was a kid was thanks to my next door neighbor, and she only had like 2 games that we ever played, Super Mario World and Street Fighter 2. But we didn't call them Super Mario World and Street Fighter. We just called them the Mario game and the fighting game. So years down the line, when we eventually would get an N64 or we would play Smash Bros. At friends' houses, like we knew what Pokemon was because both my brother and I had Game Boys. I still have my original one. It's in the dresser. And we're like, we see Pikachu, like, oh, we want to play Pikachu. We knew about Mario and Luigi and Donkey Kong and Yoshi. But then we see Captain Falcon. And we're like, who the hell is Captain Falcon? We see Samus. I'm like, who's this guy? I did not realize Samus was a woman until my parents bought me Metroid Fusion, and I'm reading the instruction manual, and I saw the word she. I'm like, nah, Sam. And okay, this is me as a 12-year-old, and I was an idiot. I apologize. So I'm like, yeah, Samus isn't a girl. No, that's a guy. That's totally a guy in there. And then as I'm playing the game, it's like, oh, it is a girl. Like when you die, like her armor comes off, and you see her, and I'm like, oh. And thankfully, I'm like, and then eventually, I'm like, I'm playing as, I'm like, I eventually was like, yep, Samus is a woman. And then I play through all the Metro games. And like, yeah, she's a badass.
Yeah.
She is a total bamf.
She is. Yeah. I found out she was a girl because of the descriptions. There, yeah, you can read all the descriptions in a Super Smash like 64. And I was like, read that. My sister and I were like, what? And then we were excited. And then we got over it very quickly.
I think my brother couldn't, like when we played Smash, I'm like, hey, you know Samus? And he's like, yeah, what about him? I was like, no, it's a she. And he's like, he's all looking at me like, that's a she? I'm like, yeah, she. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like,
and we just, and we would keep playing us, and we would play as, well, okay, we would, one of us would main as Pikachu, and then we would go to either Link or Samus. And I think even that's through Smash Bros. I realized what Link's name was because we thought that was Zelda as a kid.
Oh, really? Oh, man. That's funny, because I was introduced to Zelda before Super Smash Brothers. So that was my pattern of life. That's so funny. Yeah. I don't have all the facts about this, but I read somewhere, and I think my friend told me about it, but Super Smash Brothers Link was developed prior to the release of Ocarina of Time. Like they were working on it at the same time. So the reason that Link is different in Super Smash 64 is because they had concept art and non-finalized things. So they had to just like put shit together. That's why he uses the boomerang as an adult, even though that's a kid only move. Yeah. And like there's just like little things like that. I found that out and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't have all the facts, don't quote me on that, but that's a part of it. Yeah.
No, I mean, if that excuse me, if that is true, that's actually interesting because I never would have picked up on that. Because when I play Smash Bros now as an adult, when I play Super Smash Bros, especially for the 64, and then I think back to Ocarina of Time, I wouldn't like put 2 and 2 together because I'm just like, hey, I'm playing as Link, and one of the weapons he has in the game is the boomerang. So that's actually interesting if they did develop the games at the same time, and then they're just like, just put it in there, just put it in there. We gotta get him in the game.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll double check on that, and then we could add text that says she was right or wrong. Warning, fake news. So yeah, I'll let you know.
All right. So I have to. So going back to working in video games. One of the things I was that completely caught me off guard that I had no idea that you were in was Nintendo's latest indie world. And we see the announcement for Shovel Knight. Is it Puzzle Quest?
No, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon.
Pocket Dungeon, yeah. So the announcement for Pocket Dungeon, and because I'm watching Indie World, I'm like, because the Switch is a darling for indie games and indie developers. There are so many great indie games. One of my favorites of all time that I got just because of how cool it was Tribute Games Panzer Paladin. I mean, it's a mix of Mega Man and Mobile Suit Gundam. That's already like ticking off so many nerd boxes for me. And I'm watching Indie World, and then I see you.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm freaking out. I'm in bed next to my girlfriend now. I'm like, oh my God, I know her. And she's like, what? I'm like, I went to school with her. So I got to know, when Yacht Club came to you and said, hey, you're going to be on the Nintendo's Indie World, what was running through your mind when they said, hey, you're going to be on Indie World, have fun?
So for that, I was really nervous. It's kind of one of those things where I don't think I can get detailed on the process, but I'm the one that was like, hey guys, by the way, we're doing this. And then they're like, yeah, you can. And I was like, thanks. It definitely was a very interesting experience for me. Like,
Mhm.
you know, growing up being super excited for Nintendo announcements, and just, you know, like when directs became like a thing.
Yeah.
And just to be able to be a part of that was like such a career highlight for me, and such like a checkbox, like, oh hey, like you're actually doing stuff in the industry. That's cool. Like if I told my 10-year-old self, like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna be canon in an indie world like showcase, I'd be like, what? No way, what's indie? Because you know, I'd be 10, I wouldn't know that. But
Yeah.
anyways, it was a really cool experience and very exciting, and I don't know, it made me really happy.
So once again, because we did know each other back in school, and I'll admit it that we weren't super close. I mean, we knew each other. We'd say hi. We talked to each other on Facebook once, but we didn't really hang out a lot because schedules and other things were in the way. But I cannot tell you how happy I was for you, and I mean this sincerely. When Because I do want my friends to succeed in this world that we are in, all the things that have come up, especially when we were kids, what we were promised. If you like, because I'll be the first to admit I'm still a little bit bitter that I was promised you go to college, you get your degree, you're gonna get an amazing job. I am
Yeah.
lucky to have a job. I am lucky to have a steady income, and so many are don't because of the pandemic. But at the same time, I'm not happy with that job.
Mhm.
But seeing someone whom I went to school with and someone who I know do something that awesome, and then we're going to talk about something later that I am on, once again, super envious. It just made me so happy. And I'm like, she did it. She effing did it.
Oh my God, thank you.
I raised my, this was full. I apologize. I raised my glass to you because you
Thank
did
you.
it. And I could not be more, I want to say proud, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know if proud is the right word, but I'm like, you did it and you're there. And I cannot tell you how happy I am for you. And I honestly, I mean that sincerely. I'm not trying to be like, but
Wait,
yes.
what are you not trying to be like, Justina?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
But
okay.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, I was like, oh, what are you trying to be? I wanted you to do this again. That's sorry. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Like, that's so kind. And like, I work really hard, and just to hear something like that, thank you. I also love seeing my friends succeed. So like when you're out there and you're like publishing cool articles in Old School magazine, I'm always like, yeah, I'll read it eventually, but I'm proud of you. So yeah.
I know I tag a lot of people on Twitter. I actually get a little scared when I tag people on Twitter when I write a new OSG, because I'm scared that someone's gonna see this because I tag a whole bunch of people. I do it because I want people to read it. I want it to get out there and to do little feelers. There I go doing another little hand thing.
It's so funny. Sorry, continue. I don't know why I'm obsessed with that. Okay, continue.
Okay, yeah. So I put stuff out there and I tag my friends, I tag my followers, and because I want them to read. Well, A, I want them to read it, and B, I want feedback because that's my whole point. Is I want to improve. I do want to get better at writing. I feel like I'm thick-skinned enough. I mean, I worked in retail and in a restaurant business. I have a pretty thick skin I'm ready for criticism, constructive criticism, of course. But I want to get better at this, so eventually, maybe someone on Twitter can swing by. Is like, who's this guy? Click. Oh, hey, this guy's really good. Hey, I liked your stuff. Hey, cool, thanks. You want a job? I mean, if that happens, woohoo! But at the same time, yeah. So I mean, thank you for saying I'll read them eventually because I totally understand. We have jobs, we're busy, and it sucks. And thanks for not getting mad at me tagging you and a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah, not at all. Okay, for at least for me, speaking for myself, like getting tagged and stuff is no big deal for me. It's like, oh, cool. Like, what's going on? Because, like, you know, sometimes with the algorithm with social media, like, I don't see when my friends post. Like, I'll get ads for, I don't know, like Hot Pockets because, you know, Twitter algorithm's weird. Or, like, I'll see, I don't know, everyone's talking about Couch Guy, if you know what that is. That's a TikTok thing. But, anyways, oh my God, you've escaped Couch Guy algorithm. So good for you. But anyways, so yeah, like, so getting tagged in something, it's like, oh, cool. Oh, this is going on. Awesome. I'll like it. And I'll add it to my backlog. There's so much in the backlog. So I'll let you know when I read it, but I will eventually. So yeah.
I forgot what article it was because I know I think I talked about indie games in some way, shape, or form. And I did mention the company you work for. I mentioned Yacht Club, and they actually did like my tweet. I don't know if they read it.
That was me.
That works.
So yeah, they did like.
Yeah, they did. I forgot you run their Twitter account.
So anything you see on Twitter is usually me.
Okay, so next time I see it's like Yacht Club on your Twitter, it's like, huh, Celia. You'll get a message like, hey, was that you?
Yes.
But so going on, so you were on Indie World, and I'm super happy for you. But then you tweeted something, and you tweeted it and you posted it on Facebook that made me mad, not because you were on it, but because I wasn't able to watch it.
Mhm.
So we're both fans of Gerard the Completionist Khalil. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I've been watching him for years now. I have one of his hats and one of his shirts in my closet right now.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, I have the silver That One Video Gamer hat that he parodied off the Sonic Forces one, and he has been to me, he is a get. And when I mean a get, as in, if I were to have him on this show and just talk to him and just pick his brain, that's one of those. He's one of the guys where I'm like, if I were to die tomorrow, I could die happy because I talk to him. He is a really prolific gamer, and you were on his Indie Land stream.
Yeah.
How was that? Because unfortunately I wasn't able to watch it, and it makes me so mad that I missed it. But how'd you get on it, and B, how was it? And also C, what did you play?
Oh, yeah. So, how was it? It was so much fun. That was actually my first time meeting Gerard, like in
Really?
person, like face to face.
Mhm.
So that was really cool. He is so kind. Oh, he's nicer than he is in his videos. Like I watched plenty of his videos, and I was like, oh, he seems nice, but he is so much kinder than that. He's really funny and like sweet. So he's great, and I really appreciate him like having us on. So how we got on there. So Gerard's actually a really good friend of Yacht Club Games. A lot of my coworkers are like besties with him, and my colleague he's super awesome. He was going to go on the show, and he was like, I was like, oh, do you need support? Like, do you need me to like, help supply marketing materials for you, assets? Like, how can I help support? And he's like, well, you want to just come on? And I'm like, okay. So I ended up going, and it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a great experience. We were able to raise a lot of money for dementia research and treatment, which is something that actually is like pretty like heart, like it's close to my heart. I lost my grandma; she had dementia, so I was a person like affected by that. Yeah, it's sad. It's really like, I don't mean to get emotional on this, but it's really important to me to help find like a cure for this disease. It's horrible. And so to be able to partake in something like that meant a lot to me. So it was an obvious yes. Besides meeting Gerard and having fun, being able to raise money for such a good cause, it was very vital. So on a Sunday when I'm not working, and I tend to try to avoid working on weekends, I was like, I need to be there. So I was, and we had a lot of fun. We played Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. Whoa, game coming out, also announced and you World Showcase. But yeah, so basically we were playing Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. He got to test out some of the levels. We also did versus mode, and we got to showcase the game a little bit. And then after that, we did. It's not really a game, but we did like the tier challenges. Whenever it hits a stretch goal or whatever, we would eat hot sauce. Some of them were very spicy. My colleague had this hot sauce called The End on a piece of string cheese, and I've actually had that hot sauce before. To buy it, you need to sign a waiver. Fun fact.
What?
That you won't sue. Yeah, that's a thing. And basically, not to try it, but like to actually buy it from the retailer because they care about getting sued. I obviously would never sue Gerard, but anyways, I tried it on a toothpick, not at the Indie like land event, but at a different like hangout with friends, and that kicked my ass. And I am a hot sauce person. Like, I eat sriracha, like starting is like sriracha with every meal. Like, that's just how I am. It has to be spicy or I don't feel it. So basically for that, Waz tried that and he was like in pain. And that was the second hottest hot sauce, because there's the End, which is the one that Waz tried. And then there's Lifeline, which is the End 2, basically, which, Anyways, so that was a thing. We had a lot of fun raising money for charity. And then after we played Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon and ate a bunch of spicy stuff, we had a pizza party and played Isaac. I don't know the full name. I don't know the Isaac game that well. I played it twice in my life.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen the cover, the ending of Isaac, or It's I know what Isaac is. Once again, I've also never
Yeah.
played it, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's Isaac, but it was a mod version of that. I don't know the subtitle, what the mod's called. So I'm like, just Isaac, but with a mod. And so where people could donate and they could help him or hurt him. And
Oh.
oh boy, did they hurt him.
I feel like whenever a YouTuber, especially one as prolific as Gerard the Completionist, because he's also on G4 now, good for him.
Mhm.
And when he's like doing stuff like that, and it's like, hey, you have an option to help me or you have an option to hurt me, everyone decides to turn chaotic evil on him, no matter how nice of a. I feel like if there's like, I'm going to donate this money because I want him to suffer. I mean, it's awesome that he's raising this money for this cause, which I, like you said, I also lost my grandmother to dementia as well. It freaking sucks. And just, I feel like it's for a good cause, but at the same time, it's like, I really want to kind of be the nice guy and like, here's an extra health bar. You need it, buddy.
You would have been the kind souls. Yeah, because they would help him and then they would wait till like right before he killed a boss and then they would pay to reset it. And so he'd have to fight that boss again. And it was like, he's good. Like Gerard's very good at playing video games, but like just doing that a repeat is maddening. And like, I appreciate his patience.
I mean, the man has completed so many video games, 100% all the way through. He has been through some. I remember watching his original video for Sneak King before it was taken down, and I was like, I don't think I would have the patience or the mental facilities to go through the Burger King Xbox 360 game. I probably would just chuck that thing on the. I would probably played it for a few minutes and then just chucked it in the trash with my trash.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still bummed, but I am also really happy you did that. And also, you are awesome when it comes to spice, because I'm a baby when it comes to spicy food. I don't think I can handle any spicy food challenges at all.
Really? We can get you on the Taco Bell sauce version of that, and we'll just.
I think I can do the Taco Bell. Okay, so I can handle some spice. I'm the type of person where if it adds flavor to it and it's got a little bit of a kick, that's fine. Like if you put some jalapenos in there, like maybe some sriracha to give it a little and Tabasco sauce, I'm okay with that. That's fine. I'm not gonna like just like cut the top off and just like pour it, drizzle it on. But if it's got a nice kick, if it's I'm the person like, I want this for flavor and it's got a bit of a kick, cool. But if it's like, oh no, you're gonna be in pain, I'm like, I don't want any part of this.
You're a smart fellow. I think it's so funny that humans eat spicy food because it's normally a deterrent to not eat whatever that is, and we're like, oh, this is great, put more on.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I've seen the memes of peppers. Like there's like these rage comics of peppers where it's like, I've developed a way so birds can't eat me, and it's a defense. And then like you get the humans of like of spicy pepper go brr, and then the pepper's just like. It's I forgot the name of the meme, but it's just like, what the WTF, man? What the hell?
That's so funny.
Yeah, but if you and I ever get on a stream together to play video games, and you're like, we're doing a spicy challenge, I will submit. I will do it. I will put myself through pain, but I just need to make sure that I'm allowed to swear, because a string of expletives will be leaving my mouth if I'm to do like one of those spicy hot sauce challenges, or like the one chip that's like super spicy and it's only the one chip.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Actually, I want to try that. Like, I think they sell it on Amazon. You know, the super the single spicy chip. I want to try it.
Like I think it's like the Picante brand, because I've seen like that brand of chips at the store, and it's like, yeah, good. These are habanero and it's close to ghost pepper, but it's not really ghost pepper. But then I remember seeing, I want to see an Instagram reel or something of one singular chip that was blood red, and this guy ate it, and he was like, ah! And it was a slow burn. That's the worst part. It was a slow burn.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
He even said, it's like, ooh, okay, it's a slow burn. And it just built up, and he's like, ah!
Oh my God, that sounds fun, but also horrible.
Yeah, cool. I feel like if you once I eventually do get the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove collection and I do start playing it, I'll hit you up. Maybe you could come on and be like, hey, so Ben, if you can't beat this boss on your first go, here's something super spicy you're gonna have to eat. Have fun.
No, yes, but no, I don't know. I'll come up with something. So I'm like, if you can't beat like the first boss initially, like, actually no, yeah, if you don't beat Black Knight, I'll make you eat the spicy chip. I was like, easy.
if I have one like pro gamer thing that I can put on my my gamer resume, if you will, that's like a bit of a bragging point, is the first time I was playing Blood. Now, my brother and I, during the pandemic, we would co-op Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne.
Mhm.
And the co-op in that works like you beat a boss, your partner gets kicked, and then you restart the level on the other side so you can go through that whole thing. Well, in certain parts, you get one boss right after another boss. In my scenario, it was Maria of the Astral Clock Tower in the Bloodborne DLC.
Mm-hmm.
I beat her 1v1 on my first try.
Good job. I've
Yep.
played very little of Bloodborne, but I've died every time I've tried. So just hearing that you beat something first try with a name that has that long of title, I'm impressed.
So my brother was still on the voice chat, and he was like, "Dude, just die." I'm like, "No, let me try this." And I'm fighting Maria, I'm dodging her, and he's like, "Where's the health bar at?" I'm like, 50% gone. He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Almost dead, almost gone, almost gone." And he's like, "Dude, do it, go!" He's like cheering me on the voice chat. And then when I beat her, and he's like, "Dude, that's a pro gamer move. You just did pro gamer stuff right there." I'm like, "Really? She's that hard?" And he's like, "Yes, she's that hard." And she proved herself to be that hard, because when we went back to beat her on my brother's game, she killed us 5 times before we were able to take her down. And I'm just like, and I'm just sitting there going, I either just got stupid lucky or I was in the zone. I was like locked in.
Uh-huh. Well, that's awesome, and congratulations. And yeah, pro gamer move. There you go. You get your badge.
That's like the one thing I can brag about. Like if we're saying it's like, "Oh, I did this," like it's like I did this my first try. I was like, I beat Maria the Astral Clock Tower on my first try. That's like the one thing I can say. Other than that, I got nothing.
I think this is not really a pro gamer move, but I've seen no one else talk about it. So I discovered in Majora's Mask that you can lure the dog to hit Coffee when he's checking the mail. And I've seen no one else do it, and I've able to replicate it twice. And I showed Kevin, and so Kevin's seen me do it. So I have another person who believes me. But yeah, and I've seen no one talk about how you can do that, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, that's my discovery / brag. I don't have anything as impressive as that though.
But that's still, hey, you're doing something in Majora's Mask, and that's a 20-plus-year-old game. And I assume this is on the original N64 version,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a 20-plus-year-old. Oh god, that's a 20-plus-year. Ah!
I know. I remember when it came out, my sister was like, I remember seeing advertisements for Majora's Mask. My sister pointed at it, and she's like, "We're gonna play that one next." And I was like, "Okay," and we did. But also, yeah. So we're getting old.
Yeah, and I can also see your necklace, the Majora's Mask necklace.
Oh yeah. I love Majora's Mask.
Oh, please don't hate me. I play Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't beaten it yet.
Dead to me again. Again. No, yeah. Majora's Mask is okay. Why haven't you beaten it? Okay.
So I have the 3DS version of Majora's Mask. So unfortunately, I feel there should be like a little counter on the corner there. It's like, take a shot whenever Ben mentions this story, because there's so many stories I've mentioned over and over again to different guests on the show. But I lost my N64. My N64 and my entire N64 collection is lost to time, but I never had the actual cartridge of Majora's Mask of Majora. So the only way I was able to play it, and I actually bought it like the first week it came out, was the 3DS remake.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, finally, because that was the same with Ocarina. I never played that on the original N64. And now Majora's Mask. So I'm like, I could finally experience these games, and they are true masterpieces. But I got to the very, very end, like the last dungeon. And I'm doing all the side quests so I can get the Fierce Deity Mask, because I want to go in and kick Majora's ass. But for some reason, something happened. I don't know. I can't really remember. I don't know if another game came out or just something else occupied my time. I just turned it off. I put it away. I just haven't gone back to it.
Okay.
It's not that I don't like the game. The game is amazing. It is definitely a darker Zelda. Like every time when I first put on the Deku Mask and I saw that horrific transformation sequence, that actually scared me. And I'm watching these videos of people talking about how Majora's Mask is people going through the stages of grief.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, and like you got the villagers in Termina being in denial about the moon coming down. You got the sister who's accepted death and is waiting for her and her brother to die, essentially. It's like, this is a dark ass game. What the fuck?
It's real dark.
Yeah. Or you see the Deku Sprout, the dead Deku Sprout that's the son of the butler in the Deku Kingdom, or whatever that's called. And I'm just like, holy shit, this is a kid's game?
Yeah, no, it goes further than that. Like, oh my God. Like it gets like if you pay attention to them, like right before the moon ends and you see people cowering, oh my God. Yeah, as a kid, that sticks with me. That stuck with me. But yeah, it's so much fun. So great.
Yeah. I mean, I'm playing it as an adult. I'm playing on my 3DS. I mean, I'm using a guide because unfortunately, with those, as much as those old games are awesome, I don't know where to go, and I don't have the time to figure it out. Like when I played through my Metroid games, I had a guide with me because I just wanted to find as many and I still missed some damn items, but I was on a clock, and B, I didn't have a lot of time to finish these games. So I'm like, I'll just do a guide, and I'm still the one who's putting in the inputs and getting through the game.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But I don't know what it was. I mean, I still have the game. I will never get rid of the game. It's a fantastic game. I was so happy. I even put on my Facebook page when I bought it, and I had to put a disclaimer because I remember that post very well. I'm like, to the initiated, to the uninitiated, I'm fine. Everything's okay. Nothing is wrong. But to the initiated, ... I have met with a terrible fate. Because I knew my other older family members who don't know what Majora's Mask is, they're gonna be like, if I just put I have met with a terrible fate, they're instantly, the comments are like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Are you okay? What's happening? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. It's just a video game.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that line. Oh, there's so many. It's so good. I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, you should play it. Especially since they announced that Majora's Mask is going to get released to the online service.
Oh yeah.
I remember I posted on Twitter about that, and like one of my friends was like, "Oh, I'll just add you to my family plan," and I was like, "Yes!" So now I have switched online because my friend added me. So yeah, I can't wait to play it on the big screen again.
Yeah,
I have it. I have it already. Like I can literally play it now, but on Switch, yeah. I also have it for GameCube. I've played this a lot.
Well, it's your favorite game. It's like with me and Kingdom Hearts, or with me and Sonic the Hedgehog. I have a bunch of different ways to. I have my original Kingdom Hearts game that I bought way back in 2002, and I have the HD version for my PS4. Probably not gonna get rid of either because for me it's like Kingdom Hearts is like, oh. But with other, or even my Final Fantasy 12, I have the special edition Final Fantasy 12 Steelbook that came with the DVD, like the history of Final Fantasy up to that point. And I have the Steelbook for the Zodiac Age that came out for the PS4. It's one of those games that I absolutely love. And yeah, I'll own multiple copies of it. Yeah, I'll replay this. Of course, I'll replay this again. And Majora's Mask is definitely a game I would love to experience with the original graphics. Because when when they made the 3DS remake, it looks gorgeous. But looking at screenshots from the original to the new one, I kind of miss like the actual clock face of how the days would go by that are in the original one. Whereas in the new one, it's just like a timeline.
Yeah, I know that there's certain changes. I actually was annoyed when I played the 3DS version because they changed like parts of the boss fights. They changed the time. And yeah, sure, they gave you like life conveniences, but yeah, I don't give a shit. I only played the original. So yeah, I'm just bitter and yeah.
So besides Majora's Mask, because I know you're a huge Zelda fan, besides Majora's Mask, do you have another favorite Zelda, or is it just Majora's Mask all the way, the rest can die?
Ooh, I really like
that might be a little too harsh, or the rest can just like go away. You're fine with Majora's Mask.
Okay, fair enough. So I like Seasons and Ages is really good. For Game Boy, I really like Game Boy Color, but you know what I mean. So I really like them. Link's Awakening's really fun. I have a bunch of weird inside jokes about that game. So it always makes me laugh. So I really like those. Let's see. I think Wind Waker is really fun. I think it's cute. I enjoy that. I don't know. Like, I like Phantom Hourglass. I'm one of the few people that like that game. It was okay. The repetition was annoying, but it was a really fun, inventive way to play on the DS. So I enjoyed that. Like, I enjoyed the mechanics of it. I'm trying to think. Ocarina of Time. I don't know. Most Zelda games are good. Okay. I feel like I'm just gonna go through all of them. But yeah, those few I like.
I was good. Like my favorite Zelda game is Link Between Worlds. That will forever and always be my favorite Zelda game because it's an amazing game already, but that game got me out of a bit of a funk once again, another story I've said a million times, but because when I got that game, I didn't know if gaming was going to be my thing anymore. If the dreaded, I grew up, I need to be an adult, and video games aren't what adults do. Thank God that's not true.
Yeah.
But and then I played Link Between Worlds. I'm like, wait, games are fun. This is fun. This is like really fun. This is really good. I'm having so much fun. And I'm like, games are great again. And then I started diving into other channels that I haven't really gone into. So for me, Link Between Worlds for the 3DS is my absolute favorite. Is it the best? Probably not, but it's up there.
It's what hits home good for you, and that's what's great. So,
and then I played Breath of the Wild, and oh my God, Breath of the Wild was just like a whole new world.
That's so funny. Yeah, I enjoy Breath of the Wild. Is it one of my favorite games? No, but do I enjoy it? Yes. Things that bother me about it. Items can break. I don't like that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine with items being usable, like I don't know, like arrows, for example. Yeah, you run out, cool, great, whatever. But I do not like that they break because I am a collector at heart. I like collectathons. I like how that hits in my brain, and you can't really hoard as much as you'd like, and things break. So basically, a majority of me playing that game is me seeing what I can get away with and chopping wood. Because I want to build that house. So, and I would just like go and I'd see like, the moblins doing their thing, and I'd like run over it and then steal their stuff and then run away and like avoid conflict whatsoever. And yeah, then chop wood. And so, yeah, and try to get horses. So I feel like I played Harvest Moon through this Breath of the Wild rather than experiencing Breath of the Wild. I really enjoyed it. I loved like the characters, all of that. One thing that I wish had more was dungeons rather than shrines, but that's just my love of like traditional Zelda games. So I'm kind of hoping that Breath of the Wild 2 might have a little bit more of that, but we'll see.
Yeah, it might. I can definitely reiterate or agree with you on the whole items breaking thing, because I cannot tell you how many times I would be in the middle of a fight and I have a sword it's a really good sword for where I was in the game. I found this really cool weapon, or this weapon that did a lot of damage to the moblins and the bokoblins and everything. And it breaks mid-swing.
Great.
And I cannot tell you how many times I'm in the middle of a fight and you hear me yell, shit! And I just try to run and regroup, because then I'm just getting jumped on. It's like, haha, dog pile. Yeah. Or even when the Master Sword, luckily the Master Sword doesn't break, but it recharges, and I got...
Yeah, which is serious bullshit, because it's a sword, and it's supposed to be the best.
It's the Sword of Evil's Bane. You have to have 13 hearts just to get the damn thing, and then when you finally go through the puzzle, the stupid Lost Woods, you see all the Koroks, and you're like, you little bastards. And then, F the Koroks, by the way.
I know.
When I watched Gerard's video when he completed Breath of the Wild and they had 900 Korok seeds, I'm like, oh hell no.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's so many.
Yeah, I did that 120 shrines thing because I wanted to get like the suit of the wild. Did I upgrade it? Nah, I'm not waiting around for those dragons anymore. I did that. I'm not doing it again.
Have you ever lost your shield? The Hyrule shield, and you have to go back and find it in the castle again? Did you know you can do that? Did you know you can lose it? I didn't know that.
I lost it. So my Hylian shield broke, but I did the side quest where you build the town. I did the bunch of side quests where that town gets built, and then that one lady, that one Gerudo gets married to that other guy with all the sons, like where you have to have like son in your name.
Yeah.
Was it son or it was son. So you had that. You get married because I guess one of the researchers' sons goes to that town, and you can buy the shield.
Yeah, you can buy the shield back too.
So luckily I was like, my pockets were full of rupees, so I had money to burn. So I was able to go to him and buy the Hylian shield, and then just teleport back to the castle, because I'm like, I don't want to go through that shit again.
Oh my god, yeah, because I just got it, and I was like, cool, now to go do other shit. And so I went to go do other stuff, and then I lost. I got shocked, and then I didn't realize I dropped it, and then later on I was like, oh no. It was not a good time in my life. Yeah.
No, even worse is when you're in Hyrule Field, you see the castle, and then you hear the music and the dee from the Guardians. That's just like, I was playing Outlast last night. We were recording for Basement Arcade for Spooktober, because it's October. I play a bunch of spooky games. Yeah. Outlast scared the shit out of me. That also scared the shit out of me. When I'm walking, I'm like, oh, Hyrule Field, so gorgeous. This game is beautiful. Oh my gosh. I'm playing with my girlfriend's watching. She's like, man, this is so pretty. I'm like, I know this is on Nintendo system. How cool is this? Beep, 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 beep. Where is it? No! And then I just get zapped and I die.
You know, it does make you relive the fear of the original Ocarina of Time. Oh, you didn't play that when you were a kid, but okay, so when it hits night and you hear the wolf sound and
Oh
then
no, that scared me too.
they
That
like
freaked me
jumped
out.
out. Oh gosh. Yeah, that anxiety of they're just popping out of the ground. You're like, ah shit. Same fear, which was nice. A nice touch, but also don't do that.
I think so. The first Zelda game I ever really played and actually beaten was Twilight Princess for the Wii.
Mhm.
So when I got Twilight Princess, and once I got into the Twilight realm, I became a wolf, and then you had to fight the shadows, and you hear their screeches in the distance. Ooh.
Yeah, that was well done.
Yeah, I remember like I'm going through the Twilight realm, and then I hear that scream, like that high pitched scream. I'm like, I'll probably have to go that way. I don't want to go that way. And then Minna's are like, hey, you gotta go that way. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Rude. Yeah, I need to replay Twilight Princess. I haven't played in 10 years. Like, I haven't played that game in a long time. And I remember the cats, and I remember being a wolfy guy, and I remember the disturbing baby, and like, that's it.
Oh yeah, disturbing. That, or even that cuckoo looking thing. That
oh yeah.
Yeah, where you see a certain chest area that's like, I feel that should be censored, but it's not, and it's okay. That's an image in my brain.
Yeah, I have a nickname for that one too, but that's not podcast appropriate, so I'll tell you later.
Okay. oh gosh, but
yeah,
I mean, Twilight Princess, I do feel that was an amazing game. That was a really good. It was a good entry Zelda game. I also feel because it came out for the Wii. I really wanted, because even though I never really played Zelda games before, I wanted, because it's like you swing the Wiimote and you swing your sword, and I thought, oh, that's like the coolest thing. I want that. And I still have yet to play Skyward Sword.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I played Twilight. I love Twilight Princess. I absolutely adore Twilight Princess. I don't have a Wii U, unfortunately, but if I ever do get a Wii U down the line, I'll definitely be getting Twilight Princess HD, or unless Nintendo plays ball and actually gives us for it on the Switch. That'd be nice. Right?
We probably won't get that for a couple years because they don't want to compete. They don't want Skyward Sword to have competition. So
yeah, especially now that we get Breath of the Wild 2 coming out soon. So
are we getting it soon? I have no inside information on this, but are we? I don't know.
So we talked about this when the direct happened back in June, like me and my other podcast friends. So when they say 2022, I actually kind of believe Nintendo, because looking at Nintendo's track record over the years, they've been pretty close to their initial release dates most of the time. I mean, we have a few not stinkers. We have a few obvious ones like Breath of the Wild, the first one. But I feel that if it does come out in 2022, it's going to be like November, October, like end of the year for holiday season.
Yeah, like next holiday, yeah.
Yeah. And if it does, and if they do come out and say we have to delay it, I'm not going to be mad. I'm like just making sure it's a great game. That's fine. Like,
no, I definitely agree.
Yeah, like when Kingdom Hearts 3 and when Final Fantasy 7 said, hey, we need a little bit more time, I'm like, for Kingdom Hearts 3, I waited so long for that game. I want this to be good. Take your time. Same with Final Fantasy. I want it to be good.
Yeah.
Take your time. You hear that, CD Projekt Red? Take your time.
No, there's so much with that, but anyways, yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. Like, it's better to like delay games. And obviously, I'm saying from like our side of things too, because people don't realize like there's like lot check with games. Like when you're shipping a game, it's not just you high five and you're like it's gonna be on the platform. There's a lot that goes into it, and yeah, you can't rush that process. You have to lot for it. So let's say you discover a bug like right before lot check, you have a choice. Are you going to ship the game with it and do a day one patch, or are you going to, hold the game? And sometimes it makes better, like it's a better decision to hold it and perfect it and really polish it and then release it when you're ready. And like, though the community will be disappointed, dude, I get disappointed every time there's a delay, but having a more polished experience with the game and like having that magic and being able to experience how the developers intended it, I think that's a way better choice. But I don't know, it's every studio, every choice, whatever they want to do. It's their life.
Actually, that kind of brings up a question that I just thought of. Since you work in marketing, so you don't do you talk to the people to the devs of Yacht Club quite a few times, or do you or do you just like when you're walking down the hall to like maybe the break room and go, "Hey Bob, hi Celia"? Is it kind of like that, or do you actually talk to them and you're like, "Hey, what's the deal? What's going on?" And
So
do you guys gripe? Do you guys gripe, or do you just stay in your own separate areas and not really talk unless you're in the break room?
Oh, I'm in a heck ton of meetings.
Okay.
So yeah, no, so Yacht Club Games, the really cool thing about it, and I absolutely love this about them, is that they're very hands-on. So like, let's say that
Hmm.
you're interested in storyboarding, go into the storyboard meeting, start making examples of stuff. I can't like, yeah, like there's like just a bunch of different times where they're like, oh, you have an idea for this? Yeah, talk about it, or add it to the spreadsheet, or like we always go over everything where anyone who's interested in anything you want to do, you're a part of the process for it. Obviously there's things like I can't talk about level
Right.
design because I don't I'd be like level good. Yeah. Yeah. So but like for other things that I have interest in, I can always sit in and also talk about and be a part of the process. So that's what's great about them. We have such an open door policy. So yeah, like I know my colleagues, I bother them all the time and we're friends and I like them.
Okay.
So yeah, it's I'm able to have that. But I guess more traditionally, it depending on what company you work with. Like if you're in AAA, marketing department tends not to hang out with the development team just for the fact that everyone's focused on their own chain of commands. But like
Hmm.
if you're in a smaller company, you tend to wear a lot of hats, and
Hmm.
if you're able to contribute or be a part of or just be in the room, like that's awesome. So yeah.
No, that's interesting because I don't know if you saw, but a while ago I was privileged enough to sit down and talk with Howard Scott Warshaw, the man
Mhm.
who made the ET video game, which actually got it.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to get I want this is history right here. I have this
It is.
game because this is history and it needs to be preserved. But anyways, that aside, because when I was talking to him about because I don't know if you listen or not, but if I was talking to him about how the marketing team and the engineering team were kind of butting heads at the time. Now, of course, this is in the what I call the primordial age of video games. This is in the
Yeah.
very beginning. No one knew what they were doing because it's never been done before. So hearing that for, of course, like a company like Yacht Club, which yes, it is a smaller team, but the fact that you guys do talk to each other and you are, I would say, like, there's that form of camaraderie. That's the word I was looking for.
Mhm.
It makes me happy because then it's like there's no, there probably is miscommunication here and there, but at least it's not on the scale of where it's like, hey, this is in the game, and then engineering goes, no, it's not. Oh, they messed up.
Yeah, luckily because we are small, we do have the advantage of being able to do that. I know with larger companies, 'cause I have friends in marketing everywhere. Like they submit their copy and then it gets checked, and like there's a bunch of different avenues for that. Where I feel like in the past, it really wasn't. You didn't have the advantage to email someone or message someone on Slack and be like, hey, like and have an instant response.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess they did deal with that difficulty, but like in modern, what I deal with, yeah, we don't really have much like miscommunications. Like when we're planning stuff, I'll be like, "Hey, these are opportunities. Is there anything that we can hit like logically?" And if it doesn't make sense, like just hold it for something else. There's plenty of
Mm-hmm.
marketing beats always. So yeah, it's like a teamwork process of like what do we want to get out and like what the focus is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so we're about hitting the hour and a half mark, and I try to keep these episodes hour and a half, even though the last two will almost go 2 hours. But there's one last question I like to ask you, and if it's like picking your favorite child, I am sorry, and you can give multiple answers, but what is your favorite Yacht Club game? Is there one that's like this is my favorite, it'll always be my baby, or is there just like I love them all?
Okay, so King of Cards is my
Mm-hmm.
favorite Yacht Club Games game. King Knight is hilarious. This is the humor that game is. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
side note, my colleagues are really funny people. They're
Huh?
so oh my god, they like write jokes. It's like I audibly laugh out loud, crack up. And so that humor is in that game. It's in all the Shovel Knight games, but like
Mm-hmm.
that one in particular, oh, I love it. There's a lot of propeller rats, and they make great starter subjects. Like just so much humor to it. You have to play it. It's amazing. So I really enjoy that one. I also it's not out yet, but Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. It's coming out this
Mm-hmm.
winter. That's my plug. But anyways, I love it so much. It hits all like the right parts of my brain when I'm playing it. It's a puzzle game, but it's also a roguelite. So like it hits right for me. So I'm obsessed with that one as well right now. I would say those two are I guess like my Yacht Club game favorites.
Okay. All right, so a follow up to that, we talked earlier about you playing the games prior to you joining the team at Yacht Club. When you did join the team at Yacht Club, was there this might be a little far-fetched, but was there like an initiation process of like you sitting down and actually having to beat the games, or they're just like, hey, do you like our stuff? Cool, all right, that's fine.
Oh, no, we have a fight club, like, underneath
Oh.
the office, and you have to dress up as the real Shovel Knight. Like, you have to, like, believe in it, and, you have to fight the entire team dressed up as the Order of No, of course, no, they're just like, "Here, you wanna play it?" And I'm like, "Yeah!" And then they gave me the game, and then I played through Treasure Trove on my PlayStation for it. Imagine that, wouldn't that be cool?
I don't know about the Fight Club thing, but I can imagine.
No one wants a fight club, it's so rude. Darn. Oh, well.
I used to do martial arts and I did enjoy sparring. That was fun, but I don't want to actually like hurt people.
Oh, it makes one of us. No, I'm kidding. Oh my God. So yeah, no, yeah, they gave me the game and they're like, check it out. And I'm like, thanks. And there we go. So yeah, there's no initiation, but it's like, it's good to be familiar with our games if I'm going to be
Yeah.
marketing them. And I already was, thankfully. So it was more of a refresher and being able to experience the newer campaigns that I didn't experience yet.
All right. Well, awesome. Well, Celia, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's awesome just to catch up with you and just talk to you. And it's also thank you for the great insight. I think a lot of people are like, so that's what it's like in for this little sneak peek inside Yacht Club Games.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And it was great catching up. Let's talk more.
Yes, definitely. Oh, for the love of God, yes. If you ever want to hit up Frankenstein's, just call me. Just be like, hey, you busy Saturday? No? Let's go to Frank's. All right.
Okay, sounds good.
I cannot tell you how many times I do that with my friends on the regular. It's just, or even I'm just like at home. It's like, I know I have stuff to do, but I really just want to look. I just want to peruse the aisles.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Celia, where can people find you on the internet? And if they want to catch up or they want to like see what you're doing, and obviously follow Yacht Club Games because a lot of good stuff is coming out from them. I swear, Yacht Club, heads of Yacht Club, if you're listening, I will play Shovel Knight. I swear. Cross my heart today. I swear. But
we'll hold you to it, bucko. Okay, no, okay. So on social media, so I'm on Twitter. I'm Celia. I'm at Celia B with 3 E's. I know, right? And then on Instagram, that's my primary social media. I've been getting more into Twitter though. Is Kosher Gamer. So those are my main 2. And of course, if you tweet at Yacht Club Games, I'm the one saying it. So
yep,
there you go.
Yep. So that kind. I don't know. I don't want to say it broke the illusion for me, but now that I know, because I'm probably gonna be like writing some stuff. It's like at Yacht Club, and in parentheses, I'm like, I know it's you, Celia.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to do that, but part of me wants to do that, but I also don't want to get you in trouble. So.
No, like it's pretty transparent that I'm the one using it. So
okay, cool. I'm like at Yacht Club at like parentheses. I know it's you, Celia.
Yeah, it's fine.
Dot.
You're the one using your characters though. So
yeah, I am the one using my characters. True. So yeah, definitely go follow Celia. She's totally awesome. I'm not just saying that because she's my friend. She really is an awesome person. Every time she like posts stuff from like, because I also do play TCGs. Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic are my big ones right now.
Nice.
It's like you post stuff from Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm like always commenting. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that. So yeah, go definitely follow her. And the Yacht Club's obviously not paying me to say any of this, but go check out Shovel Knight when Pocket Dungeon comes out. I'm looking forward to play it. Also, once again, I can't wait to get Treasure Trove. Once I get it, I'll let you know. And sorry, and once Basement Arcade, like we're able to sit down and finish Sonic Mania, I'll be playing Shovel Knight because even my co-host Ryan. The guy I do Basement Arcade with, he told me before the show started, is like, you need to play Shovel Knight because I love retro video games. I love the 8-bit style of it. I've heard some chip tunes from it. I'm just like, I need to get it. And once I find it, I'm getting it. So there we go. And yeah, so now all of my plugs, you can follow me, Ben Magnet, at BenMagnet27 on Instagram and Twitter. Also, like and subscribe to this video. If you're watching this on YouTube already, cool. We have other shows on the Thick Nerd Podcast YouTube channel. The main show, which we have all of our shows there, and we have reviews. We have other shows, Big Nerds Watch. We have Conversation, which is really fun, where our co-host Sparks and other people, I'm on some of them. We talk about animation. We talk about cartoons. That's really fun. We also have, I already said Basement Arcade. I swear I try to write a script for this, but I don't, and I fail every damn time. Brandon must be laughing his butt off right now. So also we have the Fake Nerd Podcast website, fakenerdpodcast.com. Links to everything are there. Our Patreon, our TeePublic. You can get shirts like Baseball Arcade t-shirts there. Not in this color though, because the purple in our background is a lot better. And I was like, oh, I like the dark ones. And then I got it. It's like you could barely see like the little house there because the whole point is it being in the basement. It's hard to see what that is. So yeah, don't make my mistake. Get the purple one. And yeah, so check that out. Also check out Celia. Celia, thank you so much for coming on. We definitely need to catch up more. And once this pandemic is over, I can't wait to have you over so you can stream Shovel Knight with us. That'll be fun.
Yeah, sounds like a blast.
Yep. So once again, thank you for coming on. And for now, unpause.